Meta is a commonly misunderstood term, people thinking it refers only to the things in the game that are most powerful, or that being powerful inherently makes something meta. What the meta refers to is actually whatever gets the job done the best. And you might think that those two things correlate with each other, but not necessarily. You see, each and every game has a goal. Even stuff like Minecraft has the goal of finding and killing the Ender Dragon. And for every game, the meta is whatever gets you to that goal the most efficiently. In the Minecraft example, this is whatever gets you to finding the end and killing the Ender Dragon in the best way possible. In a game like Overwatch, the meta is whatever is able to help you capture or defend the point the best. This normally means by setting up the most unkillable, highest damage output in a team comp. In Dead by Daylight, the goal for each side is different. For survivors, the goal is to, well, survive. And to do that, you need to complete gens and live long enough to get out of the exit gates. Getting as many people out as possible is the end goal, and so the survivor meta is going to be whatever achieves that end goal of leaving the most efficiently. This often means perks that boost your repair speed of gens. Hyperfocus, Deja, Stakeout, and Bardic Inspiration all shoot gen progress up incredibly high. The other form of getting to the goal is living as long as possible, so perks that make it harder to catch and down you are often run. Decisive, Resilience, Dead Hard, Unbreakable, and more will help you live longer and stave off death as long as possible. But for killers, the goal is to, well, kill the survivors. And to do that, you need to stave off the gens being finished for as long as possible. Perks like Pain Res, Dead Man's, Deadlocked, Pop, and Grim Embrace all prevent or regress gens. Outside of this though, killers don't really need to run anything else. All the perks I mentioned became meta because of how efficiently they get the job done, and because the goal is always the same, the way of reaching those goals is always the same. The meta of DBD is always going to be in this push and pull state of gen regression versus gen progression. This is the reason anytime someone screams for a meta shakeup, I always have to explain to them that while the perks may change, the effects will not. Game metas simply don't work that way. Outside of core changes to the game, what does the job the best will always be meta. If tomorrow a patch dropped in DBD and gutted every gen and regression and progression perk in the meta right now, the community would only replace them with other gen progression and regression perks that just do the job better. The only reason that survivors have a more diverse meta is because their goal is determined by two factors: complete the gens and live long. Meanwhile, as long as the killer can stop the gens for long enough, they are more than likely going to win the game. Not that slowing gens down to a crawl is what actively makes you win the game, but the longer the gens go uncompleted, the more opportunities the killer has to down and punish the survivors. And that brings us to the subject of today's video. Jesus fucking Christ, now I see what people mean when they say I yap too much. In any case, a common question I see get asked, or rather, a common complaint in the DBD community is, why Qaud Slowdown? Every game is just Pain Res, Pop, DMS, Grim Embrace. And the reason is because the killer's main goal of killing you relies on your teammates not finishing the gens while they are held up chasing your ass across the cosmos. As a survivor, your job in Chase is to last as long as possible, buying enough time for the other survivors to complete the gens. That's why there's more to the survivor meta. Perks that buy time are just as valuable as perks that rush gens, and so healthy team compositions will have a mixture of both. Sometimes having one or the other causes so much distress. You see, the thing is, mastering gen efficiency without perks is insanely easy. Kaiser, not for my solo queue teammates. I can almost guarantee you are just as bad. Every time you double up on a gen, or try and work edge map at 5 gens instead of inward out, or refuse to attempt to break the obvious 3 gen on certain maps, you are actively playing inefficiently. But in a game where all the survivors, or hell even just 3 of the survivors, understand that the key is to split up, work inward out, and break 3 gens, then the amount of things the killer can do lies somewhere between jack and shit. And so in order to overcome this, the killer brings gen slowdown perks. Now, I am not advocating to bring Qaud slowdown. It's incredibly boring, I hate running it. Even running more than one slowdown bores me to tears because there's no fun effects in play. And one of the things I like about DBD is the variety of shit you can do. But I understand Qaud slowdown because nothing feels worse than finishing one chase and having 2 to 3 gens pop instantly in your face. It's frustrating and makes you feel helpless. lose. This is one of the reasons I hate the whole just don't care about losing argument when it comes to me saying that I hate losing like this, because it's not losing per se that gets under my skin, it's the feeling of helplessness. Having multiple gens pop after one chase feels like shit, and if you have nothing to combat it, then it feels even worse. It's the same thing as being 4-man slugged by a nurse in the first 5 minutes of the game. Who wants that? It's not about losing at that point, it's about the fact that you just wanted to play the fucking game, and now you're not getting experience of even having to try. When I was in my early days of this game, one thing that used to piss me the fuck off was when I would come across survivors who were clearly my superior. Ones I couldn't catch regardless of what I did. That was never fun for me. Not because I was losing, but because I was losing and there was nothing at the time I could do about it. So when killers bring Qaud Slowdown, or they bring the best slowdowns, pain, res, pop, it may be boring to you, but it's equally boring for them to have to deal with game after game of gens completing faster than I do when she whispers good boy in my ear while dripping hot wax on my nipples. While you sit there with that image burned into your brain, imagine this as well. Nearly every game as a survivor, you face a nurse who 4-man slugs you in the first 3 to 4 minutes of the game. It's not every game, but it happens around 70% of the time. And there is a group of perks that you could bring in this hypothetical world that would mitigate this every single time. Without fail, it would mitigate the problem. Would you not also be tempted to bring those perks? Regardless of how the nurse players feel, you are tired of going through that frustration, and your fun also matters. But you would 100% bring that build as often as you could. Again, I'm not saying Qaud Slowdown is something I recommend, but the reason you run into Qaud Slowdown and pain, res, pop combo so often is because not only is it the only meta for killers, but it's also because it doesn't feel good losing 3 gens in 12 seconds because you turned left instead of right at the pallet gem. But of course, I don't make these videos just to spout my opinions at you. I want to know what you think as well, so leave your comments down below. And as always, a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Can't get enough daily Dead by Daylight content? Then check out my second channel, The Kaiser Extras, where I upload gameplay footage, me reacting to your Dead by Daylight clips, and more. We also have a new short that goes live every single day, so you can catch up on all the greatest clips from stream. We'll see you over there. Link is in the description.